I'm like you as well. You know, if it's 60, I feel chilly, but trust me, I have a memory of reality. So, Valley of the Sun for the last time.
The first half the other day, I know there was foul trouble, but as a result of that, you subbed in some more guys and played one of your best defensive halves. Do you think?
Oh, probably our best defensive half. I mean,
Yeah.
they held Washington to 22. They averaged 81.
Do you think maybe going with more guys, more liberal substitutions could help replicate that?
No, I think I've done that all year. I think we're a young team. We got to stay together and keep trying to learn and get better. I don't think that anything that I did the other day was any different. I think that was different the other day is we played a better defense and we were able to shoot 50% from the field.
How real is this final road trip going to be to Arizona? I mean, this is a pivotal time in the season.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I guess I'm asking you, like, this is the last time you're going to be playing those teams, but at this point in the season,
Yeah, so there's two questions.
These
So
games really matter. So
every game matters. So I'm not sure, whether so it's really irrelevant. On the lighter note, last trip to the Valley of the Sun, and next year I'll be freezing on this road trip. So that aside, like I said, young team. It's been a rebuilding situation for us this year. We've lost a lot of close games. It's been devastating for us. We're not happy, but we got to stay together, keep trying to get better. That's the situation we're in. Regardless if it's our last trip to Arizona, and my answer will be the same next week, regardless of our results this week.
do you think one game can turn around a season? Or can
No.
get a season going?
You have to have
right?
multiple wins.
Okay.
With such a young team, being able to bounce back from such a devastating loss on Thursday and then come back and play probably one of your best games, how encouraging is that from analyzing your team?
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise for me, but I'm oblivious. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm oblivious to what any of you guys may have written or what anybody thinks. I'm a professional. Yo soy profesional. Man on Fire. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Great movie. Very underrated movie. Really irritated Denzel when everybody kept saying that to him. So I've seen it all. People want to make more of it than it is sometimes. When the team starts making guarded shots against you over and over and over, like I tell Ben all the time, and you're in there half the time with Tracy, some team, you play 10% of the time, you play better than you are. Maybe 15% of the time. 10%, 15%, you play worse than you are. So when a team has that kind of night against you, I know it. I've seen it. I had a game one at Temple one time when a kid named Dalton Pepper looked like Larry Bird in the second half. I think he had 32 in the second half. Somehow we still won. And other than fouling him on the catch, you couldn't stop him. So you do this long enough, you see. So not a surprise at all. We've competed all year. We've had some brutally tough losses because we couldn't make some layups, some free throws, Dylan cramping. So our fate could be much different. We just, we've lost a lot of close games, guys. So, it didn't surprise me in the least. And back to your question, Ben, there was nothing different about my coaching Saturday, nothing.
What do you think it's going to take to beat Arizona State?
You can't turn the ball over. The names change on the jerseys, but their defensive intensity and their quickness and speed seems to always be the same. So, Coach Hurley every year, by the time Pac-12 play gets them to a point where he wants to get them to, it seems, defensively. And they never give up, which is a characteristic of their head coach and his competitive spirit. And I have great respect for him. And you know, they won 2 games where they were down 15 with 9 to play, 12 with 5 to play. You know, so they won 3 Pac-12 games by 2 points, 3 points, 2 points, something like that. So, but the answer is you got to take care of the ball. Young team like ours on the road in this environment, with a team that does a great job of harassing you and making you uncomfortable. So that in this game on Wednesday was by far the most important thing. A little bit easier last few years, even though we've lost once. You know, we've had some wildly close games there. But when you got Tiger Campbell as a veteran, you didn't really quite have to worry about taking care of the ball, you know, wherever you played. So, you know, in a game like this, with a young team like ours, that haven't seen the type of quickness and ability to steal the ball the way they do. You know, we haven't really played in this type of game yet.
With ball security, is that something that you can fully train in practice, or does that just require game reps and see?
Well, I'd say both. I mean, look, you got to do your job. You got to do your job, but you know, some guys are better at it than others. You know, but you got to try to coach those guys that need the most coaching. You know, at it, how to deal with it. The older you are, the easier it tends to be. You know, Tiger was just a natural at it. So, but he never played too quick, being low to the ground, never sped up. So, but that's our main focus offensively.
Do you think you've solved the Dylan cramping issue?
I hope so. I haven't solved anything. You know, trust me. If I had those type of medical powers, somebody else would be standing here talking to you. But I hope so.
Is there a particular position group that you feel like would be more important than others?
Yeah, our guard play.
Guards.
Taking care of the ball against the pressure. Problem for us is they're all freshmen and sophomores, and none of them have played extensive minutes. You know, in a road game where they're going to face the type of pressure they're going to face in this game.
I have a similar question about passing, but can you grow a good passer, or does that kind of come innately a little bit to guys with their vision and everything?
Yeah, I think guys do get better over time, but some of it's natural. You know, and guys that are just born with vision, born with gifts. You're talking to somebody that recruited LeBron James. I was the only guy that went up there and drove up there until I told Bob Huggins I'm not going back anymore. So I got stuck in a snowstorm one time. You know, so I saw it with him at a very young. It was just craziness. You know, his ability to pass the ball as a freshman in high school was just unbelievable. Like, you know, it's just nobody taught him that gift. So I think, you know, a lot of it is a natural gift. You know, how feel. You know, some people are just born with that, but you can get better at it for sure. I think the calmer you get, you tend to see the floor better. You know, so I think experience helps you. Game slows down a touch, so you do see the floor a little bit better. But you know, so that's your job as a coach. But I would say the best passers in basketball, it's a gift, like Jokic.
Right.
How many deflections did you end up with the other
It's
day?
37.
Was that
We
a
had
season
22. No, wasn't our season high. It was our first half high. Yeah,
22 in the first half.
definitely our
What
first
went
half.
into that?
Effort.
Pretty simple.
Effort, and I think we did what I would tell you guys is stuff that you don't see, man. Like the guys did a better job with the game plan on how we were going to guard them. You know, which that's how again, it's an area an area of improvement. You know, the accountability and everything that goes into a game plan at the college level. You know, when you're coaching and you get deep in the season, like you got guys, you know, their heads are spinning. You know, they just went out and played a high school game. They, you know, coach going to do? Take them out there, by far the best player. You know, versus, you know, what they're dealing with now, what's expected of them now. You know, sometimes I look at some more freshmen and I worry their head's going to explode. You know, but it's you know, it's what it takes. So I think we did our best job with our game plan, execution of it. You know, learning the importance of it.
Dim told us after the last game that he made a concerted effort to call for the ball when
Yeah.
it was open. How'd you feel about that?
I've been begging him to do it for 2 years. For 2 years, because some guys, like if he played with me, he wouldn't have to call for the ball. You know, I'd be telling him to get ready for the ball because, well, you know, I could pass. I was just born into a really bad body, unfortunately. So I had to coach for a living, but I could pass. But most guys can't. The hardest pass to make is one towards the basket because there's usually somebody in the way. Anybody can pass the ball sideways. But throwing it to a big guy, you're going to have to usually deal with the guy guarding you and the guy guarding him. So it's the hardest pass. So, yeah, I think we've been begging him to get better at it. And he's going to have to continue in that area. But I think our passing was definitely better as well.
Washington double that much today. Did that
No.
go to his big game?
But again, when you catch it deep and you have 5 dunks, right? Are you sure about your stat?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
you
was-
gave me that
I was
stat.
marking them down.
So
I had
Kenny
5.
had one as well.
Yeah, it was 6 between
So
the
that's
two.
6 assists for dunks.
Yeah.
You know, so that goes to, you know, it's hard to double team that. You catch it that close. You know, he's not going to be able to. You catch it off the post. You have to dribble yourself into the paint. Teams are going to double you. They're not going to let that. They're going to let that happen.
Do you think that's something that Adim would be able to develop during his time here at UCLA?
Catching it off the post.
Where he gets the ball and kind of is able to kind of create and score on his own?
Well, not if the other team doubles him, which he's been dealing with for a month. It's tell you how you going to do it. You know, if you catch it deep, they can't double you.
Right.
You catch it off the post, they can come get you whenever they want. You know, they got time to get you. By the time you attack towards the paint, they're going to come get you.
I know Will stands out as one, but who are the best kind of post feeders on your team in your estimation?
I would say our taller guys, Brandon and Burke. You know, and then Will has been dealing with that respiratory virus. I mean, the poor kid. I actually been reprimanding our medical staff. They got to get the guy some help. I mean, I've never heard anybody cough the way this guy's been coughing.
Burke, is he passing too many open shots?
That's why he didn't play that. I mean,
Right.
you know, he's choking to death. I'm coaching and I can hear him choking behind me during the game.
Burke passing up too many open shots. Seems like he
Just one the other night.
Just one.
Just one. You know, again, young guys trying to do the right thing. You know, we try to teach our guys to drive the closeout. You know, him and Dylan both traveled when they probably should have just shot it. They had time and space. They probably should have just shot it. Burke had just made one. But he's trying to do the right thing. Again, learning process. Freshman and then the guy that didn't hardly play last year. But those plays in particular. So, go back to coaching, just trying to encourage, make sure we're ready to shoot the ball. And if you have time and space, you got to shoot it. Can't worry about the result. You got to shoot it.